Hello my love and welcome back to Surviving Death. Today we explore episode 3, so let's dive in. This episode is a continuation of the previous one, which we went over in episode 2 of this series. I have linked that video in the description below in case you missed it.
My friends, good evening. Good evening. My name is Silver Cloud.
Okay, I have never experienced physical mediums, and as they said in the previous episode, physical mediums are rare. Yes, I have had and still do experience paranormal events, but I am also skeptical to this part of the show, especially with this voice change.
Hi.
Let me explain what I do for those who don't know.
I'm actually not comfortable with this episode so far. Also, in my experience, those who have changed voices when in trance revealed to fake the entire experience. I've seen physical possessions, and when that happened, the hosts kept their voices. A few things that changed were the mannerism, how the entity or spirit would express themselves, but the host's voice would not change, at least not dramatically. So yeah, this entire part of the show is more weird than appearing to convince, at least to me.
Mediumship's about love, it's about healing. We can help people build that relationship with their own spirit within, with their own soul, and to start living their true expression in this life.
I thought the seance was wonderful. It was obviously very powerful for Amon. And I think that's one of the healing powers that it has for people, is that what's important is the experience that it provides people.
And this is why many seek the assistance of mediums and psychics to live those kinds of experience and let go of what they hold on to, preventing them from moving forward after loss. And the fact that there are many people who take advantage of the querent's vulnerability and rip them off is infuriating to me, because they are the ones who give the legit ones and the craft a bad name and bad reputation.
The mission of the French Institut Métapsychique is to establish whether or not paranormal phenomena can occur under totally controlled conditions. These molds were made from materializations produced by the medium Franek Kluski towards the end of 1920 under totally controlled conditions. Kluski, who was certainly one of the most respected mediums of his time, he was among the rare physical mediums, meaning that he could produce materializations.
This is the definition of physical mediums as explained in episode 2 as well. That sounds creepy and interesting at the same time. I mean, I am a scaredy cat, but I would love to take part in such experiments.
The research at the Institute was meant to preclude two forms of fraud. One was that you already have a hand mold, a wax hand mold, somewhere on you, and you just pull it out. So the experimenters put a specific chemical in the paraffin. After the sessions, they found the same chemical signature. So that means the molds were formed in the session. They could not have been imported.
Yo, take my money, I'm in. Where do I sign up for this?
The only second explanation that's possible is that somehow Kluski freed his hands and dipped it in the paraffin and pulled them out and dipped it again, and that way he formed and then deposited next to them. All this happening while there are 6 individuals around him looking at him like hawks while he's in a trance, slumped over. But there's more to it than that. As you might have noticed, these molds are miniature. They're not the size of an adult hand.
Things like this are what raises my curiosity, Just because I see things that cannot be explained with science yet doesn't mean that I believe everything just because science has not proven it yet. No, I have an inquisitive mind. Even when I see ghosts, as he asks them if they're truly there and where they come from. There is a little boy who used to come by in my apartment. It's been a few months since the last time I saw him, but there's a particular spot in the hallway that he loved to play peekaboo with me from. And I would inspect that spot every time to check for fissure or anything to explain the apparitions. I'm not sure why he hasn't come back in months, but I do have a few theories. Either he went into the light and finally crossed over, or he just didn't like the way I move things around here since then. But either way, something has been telling me that he might come back as my own son when I give birth later. As crazy as that sounds, I will keep you updated when that happens, if YouTube hasn't deleted the channel by then. But the last time that he was around, I asked him if he'd want me to be a mother to him. I just felt some type of connection to the boy, and I know he was in need of something. But he left without answering that question or telling me what I could assist him with. However, he was helpful in helping me find a fruit knife I had misplaced, and he might have fixed my computer when it was down. Keyword, might.
They're the size of children's hands between 5 and 10 years old. And this is not even a hand, this is a foot. So it just seems to me that the only plausible explanation for cheating is if some of these Nobel Prizes and astronomers and counts just were in on the deal and they just decided to fabricate all this evidence. That's the only possible explanation I could find that is non-paranormal.
Oh my, imagine they did. That would be one of the biggest scams in history by Nobel Prize recipients.
So let me explain a little about what you can expect tonight, because to me it's important that you feel comfortable.
Oh, for sure,
okay,
yeah.
Okay. So I'm not only a physical medium, I'm also a mental medium and a trance medium. When I do trance, as soon as the music starts to play and the vibration is right, I go into a deep trance state. I'm not aware of anything in the room. So I'm not aware of the spirit world taking control over me. I'm not aware of the information they share. I have no clue.
This is what I mentioned in the previous episode when I told you of instances when I go into trance. You don't know when the spirits get control of you or what they say through you. And I have deliberately asked spirits to act through me, but that also takes trust. For some metaphysical work, I ask them to do the job through me, but there are also some that I don't trust and will never give permission to possess me. One of them is a smoker, and I don't smoke and never want to. He's a trickster too. If you know who I'm talking about, then you know. They go through another seance with Nico, and again her voice changes. I don't know if this is just the way it happens for her or what, but this is really the first time that I come across a medium who channels and has a voice change like that. It is unsettling.
We came into that trance demonstration last night with high hopes, but there wasn't anything said of a personal nature that was not on some social media fairly recently. That's also the thing. So I just have no idea what to make of it. It's hard to... If someone were not being totally honest about this kind of thing, and you're playing with people's emotions in that way, that's not right.
It's not. And this Nico medium does not convince me whether we are talking about physical mediumship or mental mediumship. You can clearly see that Mike is disappointed, and so am I.
You're so happy in the moment and you want to believe, and it must be very hard for real mediums to get anything that's not available. So that's what our souls keep searching for, something that couldn't be known by any stretch of the imagination.
That is what I usually set apart the real mediums to the fake ones, in my opinion. I question everything and do my own research, so I assume others do too. So if a medium tells me an information that can easily be found with a simple Google search, for instance, then that is a deal breaker.
Some members of the SPR were ambivalent about mediums because they were quite often caught cheating. For mental mediumship, the standard counter explanation is in terms of something called cold reading. So cold reading is a collection of techniques by which somebody can glean information from another person subtly in ways that they don't notice, detecting people's non-verbal behavior. We respond differently to positive things compared with negative things. We interject quite a lot, so people would be surprised if they have a one-to-one reading, how much of the time they're doing the speaking to help clarify or elaborate on things a medium says.
And this is a technique that many fake mediums use. They'd be like, I have a name. It starts with a name. Like, really? I hate those folks.
And it can run all the way through to techniques that are called hot reading. So this includes gathering information in advance, using social media these days to get information that's really quite specific about you, but I can feed it back later on as if it came from your relatives in spirit.
I hate those who do this too. So many fake mediums among us, and it is a shame.
If this is real, people should know. It would change everything. And I mean, it's all been so powerful for me that I now walk through this life personally believing that life does go on after death.
The skeptic could easily say, oh, you know, she might be a fraud. That's what we have to deal with as mediums. We have to accept that there will be people in this world not believing what we do.
Mediumship gives people hope. It gives people a sense that there's something way more than just the physical that is part of who we are. It opens the door to realities that are unexplainable, but yet point to something much bigger about who we are and what might happen to us when we die.
I could have not said that any better. What are your thoughts on mediums or this episode, my loves? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel and like what we do here, then consider subscribing. Special thanks to my butterfly member. If you'd like to become a member as well and support me that way, please visit the link on screen. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.